Obex Incarnon is the newest batch of Incarnons that came along with this update. Jade Shadows Constellations, same as the Vectis, Stug, Ballistica and Destreza Incarnon, although they are not the main character of today's video. As for the making of this video, you are able to either grind out the Incarnon Genesis through the Riri circuit, and if you have already picked the other choices, you can choose to pay Cavallero some platinum to save yourself months of time. Melee Incarnons, when you look at them, most rarely have any unique trait. Their perk is rarely something that is worth playing around. Some just straight up don't have one at all. Most of them are just weapons with powerful stats. Wait, what's that? Obex Incarnon possess a perk where all kinds of finisher damage will be turned into a radial attack with no fall off or any kind of potential line of sight checks, with its radius being unknown but most likely to be 12 meters wide, judging by the waypoint mark that I left. Parazone finishers or any ability that is finisher based will also be carried over when you have the weapon equipped, do please keep that in mind. But how do I open them up to finisher with this weapon and not relying on others then? This evolution could help you. Speaking of, there is also another one which is more finisher damage when going past a certain amount of armor. And if you don't know what neutral combo is, it is basically just you standing still while holding melee button. That's it. Do keep in mind that the more finisher damage evolution is bugged. It actually gives you 8000% finisher damage instead of 80%. Truly the most optimized update of all time. While it is very insane that you can do 9 digits, even 10 digits damage, but in the current state of enemy toughness, you only need at maximum 12 million damage to kill an enemy at level cap, as finishers are true damage, which means that the EHP that armor brought is ignored. There is no need of your damage cap on finisher, but I digress. Anyways, the third evolution is pretty crazy as well. Parkour velocity, plus range and pause combo timer on holster. Personally, parkour velocity is too good to pass up, and most importantly, there is setup that needs this. More on that later. As for the final evolution, there are some just as good choices too. For finishers, critical coefficient is better, but if you don't like finishers and want to hack and slash more, either of these will work. Starting off, this is a simple hack and slash build without the slop and electricity to make great use of the grouping that come from melee vortex, and here are the evolutions. It is honestly just your usual hack and slash weapon with great efficiency. Not the best out there, but it is pretty good. If you want, you could add Warframe buffs to push this weapon even further, which is what I am going to do this time around. Before I start, I just want to say that all finishers built today involves heavily around Warframe buffs to show great potential, but I will try to make it as accessible to everyone as possible, though I must warn you that it may or may not be a satisfactory compromise for you. The build is basically a very traditional finisher melee build with some quality of life here and there and melee crescendo. Due to finisher being turned into AoE, you stack melee crescendo incredibly fast. Not to mention that it allows mods like Blood Rush to work with it and need not to worry about activating Incarnon mode. Anyways, the first way of dealing better damage is through Rifle Advance. It doesn't deal as much damage as the other choices and needs more effort in maintaining, but if you are short in mod slot, this is probably the way. But if you are not, Silence is the more superior choice via Savage Silence. And because you can always open enemies to finisher, the problem with Savage Silence is bypass, making it a more economical and hands-off choice than Radio Blind. The gameplay is essentially just you having silence up at all times and make use of neutral combo to the maximum to open enemies up to finisher. Yeah, that's the entire idea of the build. Nothing too out of the ordinary, at least for now. And as I said, there's just one more build, one more that finally addressed the title of this video. Falling from a great height, they said. One will assume such until... You can understood Rhino's passive as Heavy Impact mod, which is basically just you emitting a 6-meter wave when falling from a great height. What is good about this is that it is fully stackable with Rhino's passive, doubling its radius from 6 meter to 12 meters minimum. People always assume that you need to fall from a greater height, but in reality, you just need to have enough downwards momentum as shown. But to get enough downwards momentum, you need a huge, I repeat, very huge amounts of parkour velocity, as high as 75% total parkour velocity for this to be incredibly consistent and a good timing. And if you want to do it with as low as 60% parkour velocity, you need a particular mod that you don't even give a damn about: Anti-Grav Array. Anti-Grav Array is a mod that you can equip on any of the companions that is considered robotic. And since you cannot double jump to gain height, this little increase became incredibly important for Rhino's passive and allow you to have a much better attempt at timing it right. But how can I get this much parkour velocity without sacrificing mod slots or even Archon shards? This is why I said the parkour velocity perk is incredibly important. The perk on top of the Incarnon mode bonus puts you at 60% parkour velocity, enough for you to make use of his passive consistently with Anti-Grav Array. But if you don't want to use Anti-Grav Array, you may have to put one more Archon shard to satisfy the requirement. Since I'm talking about Archon shards, here's the build for my Rhino and the Archon shards that I use. Wow, that's really cool, but why would you do any of this? Ground finishers are the more superior finisher combo on sparring weapons. Instead of the normal 8 times on either front or back finisher, it is a total of 30 times on ground finisher, not to mention that it is also faster to execute. This also provides Rhino enough damage to kill even the enemies at level cap without relying on the currently bugged evolutions due to the incredible 30 times damage on ground finisher. Not only that, Rhino's passive is also completely free of energy costs, and it is just another reason why Rhino's passive is actually kinda insane. It may be pretty trash in any other situation, but when it comes to this singular niche called finisher builds, this passive will turn into something really insane when you are capable of alleviating its only downside, turning it into the most spammable knockdown skill ever that no other abilities can ever match. And yeah, that is pretty much everything I want to talk about Obex Incarnon. Is it the best melee ever known in this game? Nuh-uh. Is it interesting? Very. It has been a long time that a melee can be competitive through finisher instead of the usual slot. And you cannot tell me that this ain't a breath of fresh air. That's all for today. See you all next time. Goodbye.